Friedge, it is great to see you. Movember was a great effort on your part. I am missing the facial hair already. How much money did you raise, and did you enjoy being shaved by Kevin BX this Saturday?
That's a lot of questions,
Yeah,
all
true.
with very different answers.
Yes.
I think we're about $4,000. I did a horrendous job of tweeting out my link.
Still pretty good, Friedge. Come on, man.
Yeah, but
That's
you
pretty
know,
good.
I could have done better. You know, that was lame on my part, so I would say that. I missed the mustache already. I loved it. I'm already thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do next year, because it can't be the same. It's got to be a different version. And the funniest thing is Kelly. Like, they offered him, you know, do you want to shave a little bit? He goes, I'm not touching him with that thing.
So, like, is that a surprising answer from? By the way, I forgot Kevin BX went right for the nose hair first. I didn't realize that.
Yes, you know, sadly, as you guys know, when you get older, hair grows from places you don't like it to grow from.
Yep.
But you know, I just have to say this: that I really dropped the ball, not like getting like a fake blood packet, and just like, you know, that Saturday Night Live skit where the chef cuts their finger.
They clipped you.
So specifically Saturday night messing with the guys, like they cut you and you were bleeding your own blood.
Great way to end the show.
Yes.
I dropped the ball not doing that.
Please, just for that scenario again, do Movember next year.
I'll do it again.
I want to see that.
I'll do it again, and I will.
The summer of Friedge is not that far around the corner, Friedge.
That's
As
true.
we know, you let it all go.
Yeah, bearded Friedge is great Friedge.
All right, so let's deal with the topic that has consumed the hockey world here, Friedge. Akeem Alou spoke to the league yesterday in Toronto. Board of Governors meeting Monday, Tuesday next week. What does the agenda for the Board of Governors meeting look like now compared to what normally would have been put on the table?
Well, it definitely changed. You know, basically, I had people tell me it kind of got ripped up and kind of restarted. And obviously, this has been an enormous story. And, you know, there's moments it looks like it's kind of fading a bit, then something else comes out. And, you know, you're kind of sitting here wondering, okay, what's going to happen next? And, you know, also, that's going to be the first media availability for the commissioner and the deputy commissioner since this happened. So they know they're going to be asked a lot of questions, and they want to have some concrete ideas for what they're going to do. I think there's a couple of things here. I think they are working, I understand, on a code of conduct for coaches. Right now, there isn't anything specifically written down. They're going to do that. I don't know how fast it's going to get done, but it's going to get done. Some clear guidelines, I think, in terms of reporting and who has to know what. But also, you know, last week when the whole Bill Peters thing happened, you know, there were a lot of lawyers said they did the right thing. They took a time to do the investigation. But, you know, there were people who, for example, were unhappy that he resigned and wasn't fired. And I think they just want to say we have to be proactive about if, God forbid, anything like this happens ever again. So they got to have rules. Now, I think the most difficult thing, guys, is going to be the verbal stuff. Because, you know, hey, like, we all get criticized by our bosses from time to time, and sometimes we need to hear it. And I think it's not. I don't think it's going to be easy to say, well, this kind of criticism was okay and this kind of stuff isn't. But I think they're going to try. So I think that'll happen. I think one of the other things that'll be discussed is, you know, hey, the face of North America is changing. You have to appeal to different demographics, different people in terms of wealth, different people in terms of where they're coming from all over the world. Hockey's always had the problem of being, quote, as being a rich sport, especially in areas here like Southern Ontario. I think they have to kind of look at it and say, we have to get people from different backgrounds after they retire to stay in the game and do what exactly to figure out, but just be part of the game. And I think all of that's going to be on the table.
Friedge, any ideas as to when the investigation by the league might wrap up?
Like which one are you talking about here?
In terms of Peters, in terms of Chicago, in terms of Marc Crawford. I mean, you could bunch a few of them in there, or you can separate them. I mean, what I'm asking you is, at the Board of Governors next week, will anything definitive be put on the table that we can see in terms of a decision by the league along those lines?
I don't know, because again, I think they want it. I think, from what I'm told, they recognize it can't be a long process, but you also have to do it right. You know, Bill Peters, I think he is going to be interviewed by the league. I don't know, because he's already lost his job. I think that might be, I don't want to use the word secondary and people jump all over that, but I think doing the other stuff we just talked about has suddenly become more important. You know, Marc Crawford, he's under investigation by the Blackhawks now. They are, just like Calgary was in charge of that situation with their employee at the time, Chicago was in charge of this one with its employee at the time. And, as for the other stuff, I think that's league mandated, and I think it will come. I just wouldn't want to put a timeline on it.
Right.
Elliotte, I want to ask you about the Devils, who obviously yesterday fired John Hynes. So they, obviously you're going to be looking for a new head coach, and there's the Taylor Hall thing as well. Is intensifying kind of the word you would use in terms of Taylor Hall talks? And do you imagine that this thing could be wrapped up, let's say, in the next 3-4 weeks, or are we going right down to the deadline next year?
I think the best way to put it, Alex, is they're taking a run at it now.
Yeah.
They're trying to see if they can do it. They're trying to see if they can move them. They, from what I can tell, there have been some, and I think teams are very careful of saying, obviously not going to tell me we're in it, but I think there are some teams who've been pretty heavily engaged with him. And the Devils, I can't sense at this point in time that the Devils have given permission for anyone to talk to Hall. I mean, I don't know if that's going to matter anyway. I do think it's most likely that he waits to sign a contract before the end of this, until the end of the season. But, I guess I could be proven wrong. But I do think they're trying, and I do think everybody knows he's available. And while I would say, I don't know if I would say it's 50-50 he gets dealt now, I would just say that New Jersey's trying to see if they're going to make it happen.
It seemed like John Hynes did a pretty good job the last couple of years trying to, make it work with the roster, obviously not as talented as others. And they go out and they get Wayne Simmons and PK Subban and Gusev, and it's been a terrible 2 months. What is happening in New Jersey? Why can't they figure it out?
Well, I do agree with you, Alex, that I don't think John Hynes got fired because he's a terrible coach. I think he got fired because the season was going south. The players just weren't competing, and it's the easiest change you could make. I think it was kind of a bit of a mercy move that they did it before the game yesterday because the fans had cheered for his firing on Saturday, and I was glad the Devils didn't make him coach one more game at home. I think there's a couple of things. Number one, they're thin on the blue line. They're going to need to get some more defensemen. I wouldn't be surprised if they target defensemen in Hall trades or the other trades that they make, especially younger ones, guys under team control for a while. They give up a lot. Look at the goals they give up. They give up a lot of goals on the rush. They give up a lot of goals on the cycle. Their goaltending, especially since Corey Schneider, unfortunately, has lost his confidence, hasn't been good enough. I think they've got talent there, and you named some of the things they added to add more talent. I just don't think they're good enough defensively and in goal, and those are the two places you can't cover up. I think you can, if you have offensive players, you can score, but that doesn't mean you can prevent them, and unfortunately, New Jersey can't prevent them.
Elliotte Friedman, who recently lost his stash, talking about the Devils looking for a stash back for Taylor Hall. No? I tried.
It's not bad.
That's.
I've heard worse.
That's
I
not
liked
right.
it.
I should have quit while I was ahead.
I've heard worse. Ron McLean would be proud. That's a good one.
I was just wondering. Elliotte Friedman will be part of our crew tonight. Avs and Leafs, an interesting-looking affair tonight, live on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Fried, great stuff again. I know you thought you could have done better, but any money raised during Movember is tremendous for the cause. Great job on that.
Thanks very much, guys. Great to see you.
Ditto.
I know the family must love this.
Oh, they're having a good time. The WhatsApp chat is blowing up. Thanks, brother. Elliotte Friedman.
Care.